Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Hipster vs. Heathen. I'm Chris Patone, and I will be your resident hipster trash for the duration of this episode.
I'm Logan. I'm the heathen of the title.
Hell yeah! We're back, bitches. Did you miss us from last week? Now, you might notice that there's a little bit of
An ambiance.
Yeah, a little bit of a beautiful bird song in the back from the red ruffled puffer fucker. I don't know birds.
Blue-titted booby.
Yeah, that's a real bird, though. Yeah, blue-footed booby. And then the tufted titmouse is a bird, too. But yeah, we decided it's a really nice day out. Happy first day of summer. I'm pretty sure it's today, actually.
I thought it was yesterday, but I could be wrong.
Well, I could be wrong, too. You never know.
But you don't want to date the recording because when this comes out 4 months from now...
Yeah, that's very true.
A problem.
Yeah, a lot of times we record these in advance. So, like, we're going to be like, Merry Christmas, and it's going to be fucking May.
Yeah.
But maybe we could actually predict when these are going to come out and, like, judge them accordingly.
Oh, we don't want to do that.
That, or we cannot listen to albums that haven't come out yet and be like, we're on time, and, like, say we listened to them before they fucking come out. We'll be like, yeah, we listened to the next Kanye West record.
Ooh, the Foo Fighters are coming out with an album in September.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I like the Foo Fighters, but I only like one or two songs by them, to be quite honest.
Yeah, like, a lot of their stuff is really... You have to be 100% down to listen to the Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
If it just comes up in shuffle, most of the time I'm like, alright.
Yeah. I mean, like, I was going to say, like, I probably am actually more excited for the next Kanye record, though. TurboGrafx 16 is what he's calling it. It's an old video game console.
Oh.
Yeah, he's a gamer girl, guys. He's not like the other women.
So, like, in 20 years, I'm just going to make one called the Dreamcast.
Yep. I'm going to make one called, Remember VHS? Neither do I. It's like...
No, you have to go even further, like Laserdisc.
Or Betamax.
Oh.
You know what's crazy? It's all about the corporations, dude. Like, Betamax was actually proven to be a better, higher quality system, but because of the company that owned the rights to VHS, they said it wasn't as good and, like, knocked it out of the running for winning.
That's like what happened to Tesla. That's some downright blasphemy what Thomas Edison
Nikola
did.
Tesla. I was going to say, like, Tesla company's doing pretty good right now.
Actually, they're, like, spreading themselves too thin, aren't they?
No, I think that Elon Musk just kind of wants to, like, do good for the world. He doesn't care about the corporation aspect.
Exactly,
he gave away the
as
rights.
As a corporation, I don't think they're doing as well.
Yeah, but I feel like he's just got so much fucking money, he doesn't care. It's
yeah,
like
he's trying PayPal for any of
he's
you who don't
trying to send people to Mars. It's like, does this look like the type of man that cares about where he's throwing his money?
But he's like the Bick of the automotive industry and other industries. Like, he's just everywhere. He's kind of dipping his toes into other people's ponds.
And I mean, you know, that's all about how you define success, you know? Like, you can define it by money, or you can define it by how you change the world.
Yeah, that's true.
That was pretty fucking philosophical.
Yeah.
Yeah, look
Very
at us.
musical.
Yeah, the bird song and everything has made us very deep. We're not funny anymore. We've given up on that. We've accepted our fate. We're just not fucking funny.
I don't think we were ever funny.
Yeah, we just try really hard. Like us, guys, please. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Don't forget to Scrabble, please.
Yeah. What was that from again?
Last.fm. You gotta Scrabble, man.
What is Last.fm?
It's shitty. It's like
What
Pandora.
does it do? It's like Oh, okay. So
it's like a music service.
It's like a radio, yeah, internet radio.
Grab my water.
All right, yeah. So while he does that, I'm gonna talk about, I guess, the new record that we're gonna be talking about. So between you and me, he's back. Between us three, I wasn't talking about how I like them more, but yeah. So I really like this one album that came out in 2015.
Oh, is that old? I didn't even...
It's 2 years old.
Oh.
It features Snoop Dogg, Thundercat, Kendrick Lamar, and it flew somewhat under the radar, hence the name of the fucking show. But it was very critically acclaimed, and it's made by a guy who you probably don't know as he is, but he's probably one of the most famous producers alive today in terms of hip-hop. But it's actually more of, I mean, this thing dips its toes in everything. It's jazz, it's funk, it's rock, it's, R&B, it's rap, and it is Flying Lotus's You're Dead. And this album is like 19 tracks, but it's like 38 minutes long, and it's like this continuous, almost like a larger work, like the album like flows, it's like one continuous piece. and it moves from all these different like ideas and motifs and styles of music, and they flow into one another, and it's just this beautiful like psychedelic trip of wonder through like what Flying Lotus thinks death is like. And you might know him from records like Cosmogramma and When the Quiet Comes, and his rap alias is Captain Murphy, which is lesser known. But it's just, there's so much cool stuff that this guy does, and You're Dead is one of my favorite records, like, in the style of instrumental music, period. Like, I really, really like this thing. I really, really like this image, Francine, it's like, or whatever. And I actually, that was the first album I bought on vinyl, if you really want me to talk about the hipster side of things again.
God.
Oh, come on. I like that warm, crackly sound I never grew up with. You think one day CDs are going to make a return like that?
Well, isn't the point of vinyl making a return that it is technically higher quality?
Oh, it is definitely higher quality.
CDs sound like shit.
CDs do sound like... Well, I don't think they sound like shit. I think that they're also high quality. It's just not the same feel. Like, there's actually, like, a feel to music that comes out of, like, a vinyl record. Like,
yeah, and framing a CD doesn't look quite as cool as a vinyl record.
Dude, someday some fucking idiot's gonna do it. You know it.
Well, nobody's done it with cassette tapes.
Actually? You'd be surprised. There's a couple underground bands around Jersey, yeah, that I know that have definitely put out cassette tapes.
Jersey, that's not where we are.
Yeah, no one will ever know where we are. There's also Wisconsin people I know.
Oh,
yeah.
Hitting that note again.
Yeah, we got to remember that we shout on them. If you haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen to it. Like, comment, and subscribe. Love us, please. We need money. But yeah, so yeah, we're talking about Flying Lotus as You're Dead now. From the get-go, I know you're not a fan of instrumental music.
No, not at all.
Not at all? I mean, I feel like...
I can recognize its merit and where it stands within other music, but who the fuck wants to sit down for 40 minutes and just listen to instrumental music? Like, it doesn't bring you anywhere, it's just white noise in the background.
Alright, so I'm gonna guess that that's your opening argument.
It does nothing for me. Like, you can be into it and that's fine, but even country music, it gets me invested in the music rather than, like, me getting inside my own head and thinking, like, well, this sucks, like, what did I do wrong today? Or, like, just getting philosophical in my own mind rather than focusing on what the music is telling me and what it's projecting to the audience.
So now, while I understand that instrumental music isn't exactly the most popular format for things, because of the way we as consumers of music, you know, nowadays get it, but there's a lot of merit to instrumental music, and I feel like there's a big audience for things like this. And there are vocal features on this album too, and I think that those tracks stand alone, but also work cohesively and improve the experience as well as of the whole record, as well as the instrumental tracks play off of each other and improve the experience of the record as a whole.
The problem with the record is it is one song that they just split up. That's in general what it is.
I understand what you're... Yeah, but I think that...
So what you're doing is you're taking a normal song and stretching out every part of it to fit the 38 minutes that its content makes up.
Now, you see, that's my normal gripe with instrumental music, that sometimes it overstays its welcome. But I feel like Flying Lotus has something really great here, where he takes these ideas that they're cohesive in one way, but in another, this thing, like, hits so many different styles and feelings, and, like, you know, like, you start out in this whole thing with, like, you know, you're stumbling into this really confusing fusion jazz that's just all over the place, and the beat is just switching, and you're like, you know, like what the hell is going on? And then the path clears with Kendrick Lamar's Never Catch Me, and it becomes this hip-hop, lyrically driven, you know, piece about how, like, you know, like, death is about the freeing of the soul and from the body. And then you move into this really, like, cerebral, very quiet area where it's like almost like experimental electronic music. And then you get into, like, this weird R&B where Thundercat's just grooving on the bass at this really slow pace. And
okay.
that's not one song. That's a movement. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
That's just the first leg of a 19-track movement.
No, it is still one song because of how it's supposed to flow together and how you can't necessarily just start with one song, because what the song does is it picks up what the previous one leaves off. So, in a sense, what you're doing is watching a scene from a movie where you have no context of what the scene is, and just leaving it there.
You see, now
I think your grandpa's here, Chris.
Oh. Hi, my grandpa's back there. We're recording a podcast. But yeah, well, now that's how you feel. But I feel like you're comparing it to a movie in the wrong way. I feel like a piece of work like that with like multiple little tracks. Okay, I can't get over the fact that he was back there. He's all happy too because he really wanted to see this thing in action. Actually,
really?
he said that one day he wants to be on it too, and he wants to bring like an obscure old record to us and see how we think.
I wouldn't mind that.
Also, we do have some guests lined up. I'm not going to...
Yeah, tease the things that we don't have anything set in stone on.
We don't have anything set in stone. As
we know people who listen to music, so if you're interested in them, they might come on.
Well, I also know people in music. I actually, at my work, I work at a recording studio. And yeah, I am pretty great. I know. Hold your applause. Hold the applause. But I know a guitarist... a very famous guitarist. I'm not gonna say who.
You're not gonna name drop. You don't want to be that douchey.
Well, no, I don't want to name drop for the sake of like if we don't get him on, we don't get him on. But he's interested. There's a few local bands from this area that that have shown interest in joining us on the podcast.
Band?
Jimmy's band has shown interest. There's a local band from this area, the Spins. They're actually dropping their new record at the time of us recording this tomorrow. But by the time this comes out, it's probably been out for a few weeks.
What's it called?
It's called Tanked. If you want to check out some cool local music from the New Jersey area, it's called The Spins, is the band. That was the weirdest way I could have phrased that.
I feel like calling it New Jersey might take away from its...
fuck you.
Well, like people other places in the United States, they kind of look down upon it. Like,
well,
I was talking to my friend from Georgia.
Yeah.
And, like, we only know each other online, so he was talking like, you people, like... People
Us
from New
people,
no,
that's
he's
racist as fuck.
Down here, people from New Jersey are fascinating.
Really?
I was like, do you do this to anybody from any other state? He's like, not really.
Well, you see, the thing is, I think, in defense of that state, New Jersey gets a lot of flack for
Undeserved.
nothing. Undeserved. I think so.
As much as I dislike it.
I think it has its perks. I think the people who have been here have either only been to the airport or have only been to Newark. Newark is a shitty city. We'll admit that.
It could be worse.
Yeah, it could have.
Just most of Newark is bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's improved since the Zoot Suit riots.
Oh, God.
But,
yeah, if you've ever seen a movie in New York, sometimes they mention Newark, which I noticed in the new Spider-Man game.
They do?
Yeah, they mention Newark.
I'm actually excited for that game, too. That sounds like fun. I might get it. I have a PlayStation. Yeah.
Brag about it. I work at a recording studio.
Sony
I know
Pony.
musicians.
Yeah.
I have a PlayStation.
I breathe well. It's like I don't need contacts. It's like But anyway, Flying Lotus. I feel like you're comparing it to a movie.
I am.
In a wrong way.
Okay.
I feel like songs in a very a high concept album are like scenes in a larger movie.
High concept. You sound like you've elevated above normies, and you're better than everybody at this
There's
point.
a reason they called me the hipster on this fucking show.
They. It was given to you at birth.
No, it's just that I'm not assuming gender. It's, but yeah, like it's a high concept album. It's a concept album. You know what I mean? It's meant to give the feeling of something or the impression of something. It's an artist's interpretation of death, not through a song. Like if it was one song about death, I could understand your gripe with like, oh yeah, there's a lot of these short, choppy ideas that kind of flow into each other and they're kind of annoying. But like this is like a movie. It's like it's starting with these little scenes, but these scenes flow into each other.
They're
just
vignettes almost, but
yeah, and I feel like
go together more well than.
Yeah, but I feel like that's an accurate thing to shit on this album for, is that, and I'm not shitting on, I like this album a lot, it's that these like ideas, they're very quick, you know what I mean?
I don't know, most of my issue is just how I couldn't tell when the songs were changing, and it, like I said, it just felt like one long song that just didn't end. To me, it's what you put on in the background when you have something else to do.
All right.
Like when you can't be distracted. And what I like my music to do is to take me out of the moment and, in a sense, distract me.
I understand that. I mean, like, there's a lot of people who argue that music is for, like, the side mind almost. You know what I mean? It's, but, you know, like, again, art makes you feel a certain way. And I feel like to put music in a box where it has to be like this, to have merit, while I understand your gripes with it, why you don't like it personally, I feel like, like you said, you appreciate the musicality behind it. And like, there's a lot of great moments on this album.
Yeah, I can appreciate what went into it and how much work I'm sure it was, and just the care that it was given. But again, it's such an esoteric thing that I don't know where its purpose would lie in from a listening perspective. Like, when would you listen to this other than I'm studying for finals, and if I start jamming out to a song that I know the lyrics to, this is going to be bad. Like, what it needs to do, or what it does, is it keeps you in the moment.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people would argue is a good thing.
Yeah.
But, again, my music, what I like it to do, is it brings me somewhere and I can explore that area rather than it bringing me inside my own mind where I'm essentially doing half of its work. Where I'm distracting myself.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. It's too much work for me.
No.
It's not appealing.
Yeah, now, I feel like, I think this album does take you on a journey. But it's a journey that does, like you said, demand your attention. It's not saying, I'm going to let you veg out and take your, like almost yourself somewhere subconsciously. But it's saying, hey, I'm going to grab your hand and you're going to follow me.
Yeah, it's guiding you, not so much dragging you along.
Yeah, but that's kind of cool. I think that there's a lot of music that does what you're saying that's great. But I'm saying that there's very few albums that I think can grab you by like the handle of your shirt and fucking take you somewhere.
Well, it gently takes your hand, and if you don't want to go, then it's going to let you stand there. That's what it is.
Okay, I see where you're coming from with that. Like, maybe it wasn't demanding enough?
It didn't do enough for me on a cognitive level to where I was really paying attention to it, and it made me interested, Like, the songs where the lyrics jump out at you, that's what gets me. But when it's just instruments, I'm just kind of, I
feel like that might be just the difference between you and I, because, like, I love instrumental music because I know, like, the amount of technique and time it takes to really get a musical thought out on an instrument, because it's more abstract than the voice. Like, I sing, so, like, I understand, like, lyrics and everything are very important, and there are a lot of times the gripping or the focal point of a song. But I am very impressed, and I love it when an instrumentalist can take the front and really take somebody on, like, a journey, like, tell them. That's why they say music is the universal language.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I could feel what was going on in each of these songs and where it was leading me. It's like, okay, so this is, like, confusing, and now it's like, here's the clearing after, I guess, death. You know what I mean? Like, that would be a very panicky experience. I feel like everybody would be afraid of what's on the other side. Yeah, and I feel like it breaks that, and it's cool how you get the ideas, the concept, through without a single word being uttered till track 4 or 5. I think that's cool.
To me, music is like a much smaller journey than this.
I understand that.
A little adventure that it takes you on, and then the next song comes up, and it could be totally different. It could slightly relate to that, but to me, it shouldn't have to be a continuation and just be one long piece. So,
yeah, I mean,
it just has a high barrier entry for me that it doesn't interest me.
All right, yeah, I mean, I get that, but I feel like if you're willing to follow it on the journey that it's showing you that it has, I feel like it can really take you to some cool moments and make you feel like, I listen to music personally.
No.
I don't believe that. Yeah, I was going to continue. There was a comma there. That wasn't a period.
Was it an Oxford comma?
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, when do you use an Oxford comma again?
So
is that like for a list?
You know how, in English they would teach you, like, you don't have to use the last comma. You can just put and not worry about it. So it'd be like red, blue,
yellow, and green.
Red.
Yeah.
So
red, blue, yellow, and red.
Fuck you. Red, blue, yellow, and green, right?
Yeah.
So that's 3 things. So instead of using 3 commas, you use 2 and then put and between the last 2. But, like, when you think about it, it doesn't work the way it should. So the Oxford comma is just an extra
There's my
comma.
grammar lesson for the day. I haven't thought about that in a while. I just didn't know the name for it, but I know what you're talking about. But yeah, no, I listen to music to try and empathize with the artist, to see where they're coming from. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, I get the emotion out of, understanding, like, who they are and, like, like, where the art is coming from. Mm-hmm. So I like a good album where it's like, hey, follow me. I'm showing you what I think.
Okay.
You know, like this is basically my philosophy put into music, and I don't know if Flying Lotus would agree with that or not, but he's clearly trying to present you his idea or his concept of what death is like.
So you like getting inside people's heads?
I like that. That's cool.
You might enjoy Psychonauts, because that's kind of what the whole...
Psychonauts?
Yeah.
Isn't that game for the GameCube? I played it.
Was it on the GameCube? I know it's an old game, but it's made by Tim Schafer. It's like you're at a summer camp and you have to get inside people's heads, and those are the bosses you fight.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I like that's. I just like thinking about how other people think. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you're not a psychology major, but you could be.
I definitely could be. Yeah, but that was my grandma too.
If you heard the knocking, that you probably didn't.
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
Bring it up anyway.
Sorry, but like there might have been this weird pause.
Hi.
We're recording. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. That if you didn't hear that, that's my grandmother.
Hi, Watson.
Yeah, and my dog. We're outside right now. But yeah, no, I mean overall, I feel like I understand where you're coming from. That this isn't exactly like how nowadays we conventionally listen to music, but I really do appreciate when someone puts that kind of work. I feel like I'm not saying it's a higher art than some things, because that's just douchey and it's just wrong. Because there are obviously songs and singles and like pop songs that are profound and great and everything like that. But like, I do like it when music says like, hey, maybe it's time to not just use me for listening to studying. Maybe there should be time in your life to just sit down and listen to something and get something out of it, like reading a book. Like, I feel like we don't appreciate music in that kind of way as much as people used to. Like, before I was fucking born, so, like, I'm not one to say anything.
Well, to me, the way we express ourselves through just what we do for fun, I guess you could say,
leisure,
evolves.
Yeah, no.
So it started with, like, playing in the dirt, and then we had books, and then the media we consume just evolves over time.
Yeah.
So I feel like music has evolved past this to the point where the technology we have doesn't necessarily warrant this form of it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like as a population we've evolved past it and we've outgrown it, but
now,
if you're interested
I think that you should never grow out of an art form. I feel like that's categorizing art as a thing that should constantly be changing, but I feel like it's a problem with the mentality of a lot of people. This album has got us very philosophical, by the way.
Do you not believe in outgrowing anything, though? Because I feel like art is just like anything else. You can move past it.
I believe in outgrowing something, but I believe that categorizing a way to create art like that it's like, oh, this is an antiquated way to do it, is wrong, because art is so subjective. If a person likes making a song that is 12 minutes and instrumental, it might not have a popular audience. It might not be popular. There's a lot of landscaping going on by us. I hope it's not picked up on the feed.
Oh, it is, I'm sure.
It's definitely picked up on the feed. But you know what I mean? Like, just because like it's not going to have a popular audience doesn't take away its merit.
Well, just look at the history of art. It changes. It goes.
That's fine.
It comes and goes.
Oh, I agree.
This, to me, is, in a sense, that. It's this form of art, or this form of media that just, it doesn't really have as prominent a place as it did.
Now, that's the word that I'm glad you used, is prominent. Now, I understand this isn't meant to go on top 40.
No.
But, you know, it's very well acclaimed for a reason. It's like, it's just as good of music as other music. It's just not in the same way.
It's the indie film that has a limited release that nobody's going to see.
But I think it knows what it is, and it's going to take that wholeheartedly. You know what I mean? Like, Pink Floyd's The Wall, like, is a very high concept, like, movement-driven album in a different way. It's very, like, story-driven with the lyrics, rather than the music itself. But the music also itself is very expressive, and there are moments where it breaks away, and it's very, like, instrumentally focused.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But now, while that album doesn't have, like, the most of, like, you know, Pink Floyd's hits, like Money or, like, Another Brick in the Wall. Actually, I think Another Brick in the Wall is from The Wall.
That's the one song I know about them. And
yeah, I'm dense. I'm sorry. But you know what I mean? Like, Never Catch Me was the only really, like, it got popular. Which, Never Catch Me on this song, You Flying Lotus Is You're Dead, is the one song it's a rap, and it can stand on its own. It has a beginning and an end.
Right.
With Kendrick Lamar. And that's fine. But I think the album knows that it, or doesn't want to be on a top 40 or like on everybody's like listen thing. It wants to be its own work that you come to. It's demanding attention.
Yeah.
And I respect that.
That sounds like what Quentin Tarantino does. Like, he knows he's not going to release something as big as Star Wars.
Yeah, like the movie of this summer.
Yeah, but he knows that it's good. You know?
Like he
to him, he appreciates it for what it is, and as long as...
Because it's what came from him.
Yes, as long as other people can get that enjoyment out of it, then that's fine for him. Even
exactly.
Though he did throw a hissy fit when Star Wars released the same week as The Hateful Eight, so...
Hateful Eight was a good film, though.
It was, but it's not Star Wars. That's
exactly,
the thing.
and Hateful Eight is another type of thing where it's this long, flowing thing.
Exactly.
And there's an intermission in the middle. There was a 5-minute intermission. Do you remember that?
I don't. I don't remember getting up.
There was a first act and intermission that we didn't get up from. We saw The Hateful Eight together.
Yeah.
But
like the thing about Quentin Tarantino's movies is you have to be in the mood for that. Like,
yeah, no, that's fine. I think you have to be in the mood for this too.
Yeah.
But I think again, it's a work that knows that it's trying to be something that you listen to start to finish. And it's not saying, "Hey, listen to me on, like the sidelines or listen to me on this." Like it almost didn't care about that.
Yeah.
And I like how we're calling it rather than saying Flying Lotus. The artist cared about that. Which I think, like
we're personifying the album. But.
Yeah, which is good, I guess, or something.
or
something artistic.
It's getting hot out here. We gotta...
But yeah, long story short, I think, Flying Lotus does have the kind of record where you can come into his, like, instrumentals, and the instrumentals stand on their own, and they're, like, cool EDM songs where it's, like, not EDM, though, it's more like IDM, if you know what that is, or hip-hop, where it's, like, you can kind of jam to one instrumental, and it goes for, like, 4 minutes, where it's, like, it's kind of like a groove, and it starts and finishes the conceit. Whereas this album is meant to be heard as a whole, and I think that that's something cool and unique that we don't get a lot of anymore, at least this kind of expertise, and with this kind of, like, oomph to it, that I really love this album.
Yeah. So, I guess we should go on to our general consensus.
Alright, so my general consensus, again, is, this ain't your grandmama's. I always say that. This ain't your grandmama's. Like, hi, Grandma. She's over there walking my dog. It's very cute. This isn't your grandma's, like, pop record where it's like there's singles and these songs are meant to be listened to individually. This thing is going to grip your attention. It's going to make
it's going to demand your attention.
Yeah, demand it. Yeah, I think demand is the word here. Like, and it's going to make you think about it.
Yeah.
Which is cool. And I think it has its own place in its own realm. But I understand why people won't listen to this all the time. Yeah, I just happen to like a lot of that in my music, and I don't get it often. So when I do, it's really cool.
So from my end, what this is it's I don't even know. I'm rambling now. So it's one long song. It's essentially just mostly instrumental with some lyrics. So you can listen to it while you're doing laundry or whatever.
Yeah.
So if you're the kind of person that enjoys buying a movie soundtrack, then you'll probably like this.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is.
Yeah. And
it's
I think
songs that are meant to complement a scenario rather than create one.
I would like to see somebody try and create a movie using this as the soundtrack, wouldn't you? I think it'd be cool.
I don't know. I feel like...
Well, I think
creating a movie around a soundtrack, isn't that what James Gunn did?
Well, I mean, yeah, and it did great, didn't it? No, but what I'm saying is I've always been interested because it's like, well, The Wall actually has a movie based on the album.
Oh.
And that movie's really good. Because it brings a visual aspect and a lyrical aspect to something that is very driven and, like, it's like an opera, you know what I mean?
I've never heard of making a music video for the entire album.
But that's kind of cool. I think that'd be something interesting to do. So let's give it, you have to give it 3 positives, I have to give it 3 negatives.
All right. This would be great for finals week.
Okay, there's 1.
I can tell that there was obviously a lot of passion behind it, and it's very well done. So, I can appreciate that. And then
there's 2.
Thundercat is just, he's so easy to groove to. Like, his bass lines he was dropping, and
oh my God,
his lyrics are really good.
He's the best. We'll bring a Thundercat record soon. We'll probably bring.
I thoroughly enjoy his work.
Maybe we'll bring Drunk up soon. I love Drunk, but Thundercat, you the man. Flying Lotus, you're also the man. But 3 shines, or not shines. That's negatives. A good thing. Negatives or cons, whatever you'd call it. Dulls. I actually didn't like the Snoop Dogg feature on this.
No. I don't even remember it.
There was a Snoop Dogg feature on the song Dead Man's Tetris, and I like the song, and I think it's cool how it like bleeps and bloops, and it really changes up the jazz aspect of it.
Yeah.
And
You need bloopy reggae jams to make
it's
it.
not blue. It's not reggae. That thing's like like it's very like very slow.
I want to hear more of you trying to make music solely with your
Mouth. Yeah. What That Thang Do. But that's the album. What That Mouth Do, Girl, by Chris.
Mouth. What That
Mouth Do. Yeah. In theaters this Friday. I don't know.
That's how they're gonna start releasing albums in the future. You're just gonna pay $15 to watch it in a theater with other people.
But oh my God, this is getting so loud back there. That stupid landscaping. Hopefully you can hear us. But yeah. A second thing is there was another song that I really wasn't super fond of. I think it was actually called Obligatory Cadence.
Okay.
And it was just like very like simple, like it sounded like human music from Rick and Morty. Like actually sound that one thing, I don't know, like I get that it was trying to slow down and hit something weird and very just out there. And it did its job, but I didn't like it personally.
Okay.
And the third thing I liked, I did not know that they're removing the forest back there today.
I think our landscaper wants to be featured.
Yeah. Hello, landscaper. But
he's gonna jip us on the price.
yeah, but I guess the third thing is, it doesn't have a place in like the Billboard Top 200 in your everyday place. And that does take away from the replayability of the record.
Exactly.
But I feel like as a one-time thing, or as like a work of art that you revisit occasionally, that's cool.
That's why I was likening it to a movie, because you can't keep watching a movie over and over again.
All right,
I think.
All right, so hey, not true. I could watch The Notebook 1,000,000 times.
When I was younger, I watched X-Men Origins like 30 times in a weekend.
How young were you?
Like 11, maybe.
Oh my God.
Well, I don't know when it came out, but I think it was 11. I don't know.
Are you sure?
But like, I had nothing else to watch, and I was so tired of it. But it's like, I could watch this or the news, so
yeah, true.
I'm gonna watch X-Men.
All right. Well, once again, guys, we're gonna put a link in the description to one of the highlights, probably from the record. We're probably gonna do "Never Catch Me." It's the most easy to grip on this album. Flying Lotus is You're Dead. 2015, great record. Listen to it for yourselves. Don't be fucking sheep.
Keep reminding people not to be an animal that they probably don't see regularly.
Don't be a kookaburra.
Or a capybara.
Yeah, or a capybara.
They're really cute.
Dude, they're giant rats, you know that?
Yeah.
They're the largest member of the rodent family. Starfish throw up their own intestines to eat things. Yeah, they literally throw up their own stomach, and the stomach wraps around shit.
Speaking of starfish, that fucking scene in Finding Nemo.
Whoa.
Okay, so this starfish, he's on the side of the... Whatever. They're on the side of the aquarium, right?
Yeah.
And it has to pull back so everyone can hear him talk, or her talking. But then, while they're looking out the glass, it's got its whole body against the glass, and they can hear it totally fine. Even though it just had to pull its body off the glass so it could understand.
I don't think about the plot holes in Finding Nemo often.
Fuck Finding Nemo.
Okay, apparently fuck Finding Nemo. Ellen DeGeneres, horrible job. Love your show, though. 10 out of 10. What a woman. She's actually a great push.
She's a great prankster.
Yeah, she got us. She got us good. Tune in next week, kiddies. Much love. Hope you enjoyed the outside, the wonderful outdoors. Hope we got you your breath of fresh air. What the fuck was that?
Fresh air.
Breath of fresh air.
I'm the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, that's how you know that our fucking generation doesn't get outside much. Glad that's on recording. We'll see you next week, guys, and talk to you later. Kisses. Mwah.
We should make a Twitter before somebody else does it before us.
What, Hipster versus Heathen Twitter?
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, the Heathen, not
Maybe.